Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to discuss another interesting topic, that is biological stress. This word nowadays it is very commonly used. ये word हमेशा आप ये रोज़मर्रा की ज़िंदगी में आप सुनते रहते होंगे कि स्ट्रेस हो गया, मुझे ये स्ट्रेस हो गया, मुझे वो स्ट्रेस हो गया, मुझे एंजाइटी हो रहा है, डिप्रेशन में हूँ. ये डिप्रेशन, एंजाइटी, all these things are a collective term of stress. So this is going to be a very interesting topic because stress तो होता है लेकिन उसका बायोलॉजिकली क्या रिलेशन है स्ट्रेस का, वो आज हम इस वीडियो के माध्यम से डिस्कस करेंगे. So let's begin. Before going to detail, you must be seeing such terms like temper, stress, fear, depression, despair, agitation, anxiety, worry, frustration. ये सब होता क्या है? Loneliness, headache. All these terms are known as stress. Nowadays, this is a very common thing. Even a small child also have a stress of studies, stress of work, stress of career, stress of job life, stress to handle the home stuff, everything. Now a small kid is also having a stress. Why this term has nowadays been very common? Because of various reasons, because of the things not to achieve, because of the fear that you might not achieve certain things, because of the tension. So all these collective terms which I have mentioned over here is a kind of stress, or you can say is a collective form of stress. Negative thinking, failure, loneliness, all the scared, insomnia, not sleeping at night, withdrawal syndrome, panic attacks, fatigue, all these are the types of stress. What does this stress do to our body, and what happens if we stay in stress for a prolonged period of time, or if we remain in a stress condition for a longer period of time, then what will happen? Also, what will happen if we have stress for a shorter period of time? This video will be regarding 3 parts. In the first part, I will be discussing the types of stress and certain what does the body do during the time of stress, how does it activate, or how does the hormone plays the role during the time of the stress. The second part of the video will be regarding the consequences of stress, what will be the consequence of our body, and the third part will be strain, which is another part of the stress only. So let's begin without any delay. This is another stress, biological stress we are going to discuss, and as you can see there are lot of loads in everyone today life to manage everything, to day-to-day activities, to manage job life, to manage home, to household works, everything. So we big a big burden on our soldiers, and we carry out lot of things. So how to manage that things? In the last part of the video we will also discuss about how to manage stress, some remedies, some things. But before that, why being in stress is very harmful, why stress can cause a little thing. Can stress cause death also? Yes, it can. And how? We will be discussing in the many videos in the different parts of our video. So let's begin. Before knowing what is stress and what are the types of stress, we need to focus on the definition part of the stress, that is any condition. Let it be fear, let it be anxiety, which is disrupting our body homeostasis. What do you mean by focus on the term hemostasis? Hemostasis means the body balance. Anything that is disturbing our body balance is known as stress. Okay? Or you can say any change in the internal, or you can say in the external environment that requires physiological compensation is called stress. If there is anything changes in the environment, external environment, which is affecting us, as well as if there is anything change in our internal environment and is affecting our physiological activities, and if we are compromising with that, that is known as stress. Let's say if you have a job stress. So students after completing their graduation, after completing the masters, they will be having stress to find job. During that time they will have the many types of symptoms, like they will not have sleep, improper food, not proper following diet, they will eating lots of junks. what will be happening? They will be cumulatively, they will be affecting their own physiological activities, and with small bits of stress each day, they're taking this small stress that will cause a long term effect that can hamper your health for a long period of time. Okay, that's why any internal in our body, any internal or external change, and for example, I have taken the example of job. Certain people have anxiety attack before exams also. Why does this happen? Because our body releases certain types of hormones which causes this reaction. That's why we will be discussing in detail. But who came with the term stress? Hans Selye, you can say, in 1950 had discussed the pioneer works of stress. Pioneer means important work. What is stress? What is the stress affects our body? What happens during stress? How our body reacts to stress? All these things Hans Selye has in his article has discussed all this content about stress. Okay, this is all about the stress. Now, what are the three categories of stress? First type is the acute stress. Second is episodic acute stress, and third is chronic acute stress. And each one of them we will be discussing in detail. First, we will be discussing about acute stress. First is acute means temporary changes or immediate effect. That is, temporary changes occur immediately it is perceived. Body in acute stress, pain relievers like the dopamine and beta endorphin are secreted from our brain. It is a minimal damage and is remained for a short period and highly manageable and treatable. Suppose you will be having a target to achieve. Suppose in a day your boss will give you that target to achieve this within the day. So that time the stress which you will be having is the category of acute stress, because for a very short or a temporary basis of time you will having the stress. After your completion of that work, your stress is gone. That is known as the acute stress, which will be happening for a very temporary, or you can say a short period of time, which can be managed. After you complete your work, you will be relaxed, no more stress after that. And during that time when you are doing that work, your body will release certain stress, acute stress, or you can say pain reliever. Pain reliever means it will relieve pain from your body, like that from the brain, that is dopamine and beta endorphin during that time. Okay, temporarily it will release, and the damage of acute stress is very minimal. If it goes on like this, if it continues, then it will be very harmful. But if it is for a very short period of time, then it can be manageable, okay, and treatable also. Symptoms like the acute stress during that time when you have very much important work to do, your boss has given the target to complete it within this 24 hours only. You will be ever angry. Anything, if anyone will be disturbing, you will be get easily short-temperedness. Okay, you will get easily angry, anxiety that whether you will be able to complete that work or not. Then little depression if I will be not completing, if my colleagues will be completing on time, and if my contemporary will be completing on time, then if boss will scold me. All these things that will happen at the time of this acute stress. That is, this will be happening for a very short period of time, until and unless your target is complete. So anger, anxiety, little depression will happen. What will happen during muscular pain? If you are in a complete stress to complete that work, you will be having little headache also. You will be having back pain, because you are putting all your efforts to do that work only. You will be sitting only until and unless you finish that work. You will have back pain also, migraine pain also, and jaw muscle pain also. You will be having all these things. But in your temporary purpose, unless after you finish your work, after your target is over, that is, I am talking about a day or two, not for a prolonged years. That will be very little. Okay, for a day or two it is okay, manageable, you can manage it. After that you can treat yourself, you can be happy, and all this thing is a case of acute stress. That is for a very temporary period and immediately it is worsened. Then next, talking about what are the physiological aspects about this active, that is heart burning, constipation. You will be see heart rate will be increasing during that time, blood pressure will be high, sweating from the hand and feet. These are the very normal condition you will be experiencing when you are in a tense condition or when you are under the stress. but this is under acute for a temporary and it can be manageable. Next, coming to the category which is episodic. Episode means what? For a long period of time, you can say from the episode. Episodic term came from the word episode. Okay, episode means for a long period of time. If you are under the stress for a longer period of time, then it is called as the episodic or acute stress. Okay, episodic acute stress. It occurs for a longer period of time and leads to episodic stress. Suppose you are under stress for months or so, for many time, and you are under not a day or two, you are under month, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, you are under stress only. This leads to irritability and aggressive behavior. You are gradually will see your behavior will change. If you are under stress for more than many months, then you will see your behavior will change, your approach to people will change, and the symptoms will be you are always in a rush and late, you will always in a hurried and worried condition, that you will be seeing that you will do this thing, you will do that thing, but you can't control all your thing, and you will easily get agitated, you will get easily angry in short things, in small things. If you see this things is not happening well, this is not happening well, why this happens? Because your body is giving you signal that you can't do anything, because you are under stress. That's why your physiology will gradually start changing. You will be always short tempered, you will always under irritable condition, you will be having continuous headache. In case of acute condition, only for a short period of time, but here you will be having uncontrolled stress, uncontrolled persistent, when continuous headache will be, when there will be there, and you will be having uncontrolled muscle contraction also. Your hand pain, bones, and your legs will be paining. Sometimes if it is acute, in severe case it will be chest pain also will be there. So you can see how your stress, the longer you keep, the longer it is getting worse. You can see in acute condition, the condition can be managed because it is for a temporary period of time, but gradually we are moving to the more deeper. If you are going for under stress for longer period, then how it is aggravating your things, physiology is gradually increasing, you can see. And the next condition which is very dangerous is the chronic stress, and it is not detected for a longer period of time, it is probably cause many type of disease like the heart disease, cancer, immune system disease, and also death of organism. See, I have told you in the beginning also, can stress cause death? Yes. Chronic stress, if stress remains untreated, if you are not doing anything to control your stress, if you are not doing anything to manage your stress, we will be discussing upon the management of stress in the last part of the video, because I am going to make you aware through this video, through these parts, that how stress is affecting your body, how stress can cause a long-term effect as well as can cause death also. Many heart diseases, cancer, immune system disorder, all these conditions will be affecting because of this stress. So this stress we have discussed in 3 parts, that is what is acute stress, what is episodic acute stress, and what is chronic stress. Okay, then why do stress occur? These questions may be asking many of your minds, that why do stress occur due to stressor which is causes stress to your body. Stressor is present in your body which causes stress. Okay, then what will be the generalized symptoms? We have discussed the types and the symptoms in each category. That is, in acute condition, what will be the symptom? In the episodic, what will be the symptom? In chronic, what will be the symptom? But if you say generally, if you are under stress, then what will be the generalized symptoms? Like you will be facing anger issues, anxiety issues, that you will be under, every time you will be anxious, you will be worried that whether you can complete any task or not. You will be always worrying about the future. That's why you will be have anxiety issue, depression, you will not willing to do anything, not feeling like getting up. Depression is also another important topic, which is a separate topic. There are many types of depression that can be discussed. If you want, you can say that we will discuss in some later out. Cold hand and feet, when you are in a fear condition, when you are in a stress condition, you can feel from your hands that your hand and feet will be cold, and you will be have sweaty hand. Okay, headache, always you will be having headache, back pain, muscle pain, all this high bp will be high, blood pressure will be high, and acidity problem, gastric problem will be seen, heartburn, diarrhea, that is diarrhea will be seen, and constipation. Okay, these are all the generalized condition. Then what happens, till now we have discussed what is stress, what are the types of stress, and what are the symptoms we see. But how do our body react to stress, and what happens if we are under stress? So one mechanism, that is fight and flight response, which we have discussed. When hormones you have discussed, hormone you have been gone through. During hormone you have seen that the adrenal cortex, that is the releases certain type of fight and flight response. Okay, so was proposed by Walter and Kanner, and it used to autonomic nervous system. You will be knowing that autonomic nervous system, what happens during stress, they will secrete. There are two types, that is sympathetic and parasympathetic. In the time of stress, the sympathetic nervous system will come into place. That is, I have written here engaged, withdraw. That means during the time of stress, sympathetic nervous system only comes into play. What will the sympathetic nervous system do? It will stimulate the adrenal medulla, and it will secrete the adrenaline, which will secrete noradrenaline, and immediate response to the stress will happen. Second, what will happen? This systematic nervous system will secrete hypothalamus, will stimulates hypothalamus to secrete the corticotrophin releasing hormone, which will stimulate pituitary. This pituitary will stimulate the adrenal cortex. Adrenal cortex will release glucocorticoid, mineralocorticoid, sex corticoid. So by this you can know that how many things are related to each other. Under stress, how many hormones, all these are the part of hormones. Okay, hormones we will be discussing in some other part of the video, but these are all the parts of the hormones. How your hormones will be affected if one thing, that is stress, happens. Okay, flight and flight is an immediate physiological response activated our body. So when we are under stress, immediate reaction our body shows is the fight and flight. Okay, fight means fighting, lie, or flight means to fly. Okay, it helps the organism to survive, because if we are under stress, then this flight and flight response will help our body to survive. It happens due to ANS, that is autonomic nervous system, that is sympathetic and parasympathetic, and in this case sympathetic is engaged and helps in the production of stress hormone, and parasympathetic is unengaged and to bring back homeostasis. What happens, I am going to explain now. See here, though when we are under stress condition, our body will automatically release a response known as fight and flight. What it will do, it will release the autonomic nervous system to engage the sympathetic nervous system, so that it will release all this, it will activate all these hormones. Okay, then under stress condition it will happen, all these hormones will be agitated, means it will be increased, the activity will be affected. And what will parasympathetic do? It will withdrawn means it will bring back the homeostasis. After the stress condition is over, to withdraw the stress condition, this parasympathetic will come into action, so that our body will maintain in the homeostasis. In the definition of stress itself, I have told you, stress will imbalance your homeostasis, that is stress will cause effect to your body homeostasis, that is your body balance will be, physiology will be affected due to stress. So something should be there to bring back to the normal condition, that is parasympathetic of our body will bring back to the normal condition, which we have explained here. Sympathetic is secreted from the adrenal to bring the stress hormone and strength and power to run. So during the time of stress, power will be given by this sympathetic. And adrenaline is secreted first under the control of SNS, that is sympathetic nervous system. It gives temporary protection against the stress, and cortical hormone cause the long-term protection. Okay, as you have seen that this cortical adrenal hormone, which is secreted due to various activity, what it will do, it will give us temporary protection from the stress, and the cortical hormone will be giving us long-term protection. Okay, and imbalances of hormone during stress causes infertility in the female. That's why you can see by this flow chart shows you under stress how many factors or how many hormones are getting activated, getting imbalanced. All the mineral, see sex corticoid, mineralocorticoid, glucocorticoid, all this are getting activated, all this getting agitated, all this getting imbalanced. Okay, so if you remain under the prolonged stress condition also, imbalance will be happen in your hormone, and it can cause also infertility in the female. Okay, and so remember that adrenaline will be first under control, and it gives temporary protection, and cortical hormone will giving under the long term protection. Okay, this is for the long term stress. What will happen? Hypothalamus from the SNS will stimulates the hypothalamus, which will activate the pituitary. Pituitary will affect the thyroid hormone, and also the posterior pituitary, that is oxytocin and vasopressin, that is contraction of muscle and fluid retention, will also be affected. So if you are under a longer stress condition, then thyroid hormone will be affected, your oxytocin, that is muscles. That's why in the consequence part or in the symptoms part I have shown that you will always be in a muscle pain, because of this only. Vasopressin, fluid retention will take place. By this you can see how they are all interlinked, why you will be having certain symptoms or certain consequence due to stress, which we have discussed in this part, because all this under stress condition, all these are related to each other. So this is all about the first half of the stress. Next half we will be discussing some other points regarding the stress condition, but before that you need to first focus on this part and understand this part. Hope this part of the video was very helpful to you, and stay stress free and stay happy and have a nice day. Thank you.